Facebook Live just to give you an update on how the campaign is doing. First, let me just say Happy Labor Day to all those who are home and those who are out. Hopefully not too much out, but to everybody basically. But what I wanted to do is I wanted to do a little interaction here and see if I can get some comments and some feedback from you. You can see this nice sign right behind me there, Franklin for DC 2020. So I wanted to just give you an idea of how my campaign is doing. So this is going to be a short Facebook Live. And I'm actually transmitting also on Twitter and YouTube. So if you're watching there, be sure to, especially on YouTube, to hit that subscribe button. I think I'm trying to get to 1,000 subscribers so that I can do a direct YouTube Live. If you're watching on YouTube, be sure to subscribe. But before I get to that, let me just say that we were excited to see that the state of Maryland entered the phase three of the coronavirus pandemic, and Virginia has already been on phase 3 for a little bit of time, and so we're still waiting to see when DC is going to do the same. Last Friday, I think that Maryland started. Let me show you some of the numbers here for the coronavirus pandemic. I'm actually at the website for our city here, coronavirus.dc.gov, and you can see that we have 611 people that have died due to COVID-19. Let me make sure that I'm actually transmitting real quick and that people are actually able to hear me, because I'm always having a hard time with that before I continue. Yeah, it looks like people are able to watch me. Very good. And so you can see, one of the interesting things to note about this is that we still have the quarantine from other states. Remember how we started, I think it was on the 27th of July, a process where if you come from one of those high-risk states, then you're supposed to quarantine for 14 days. And those are going to be shown on this website. So if you go to coronavirus.dc.gov, that's where you see the list of the states, and you can see all kinds of data showing the situation with the coronavirus here in the city. You know, we're very sad to see that over 189,000 people in the U.S. have died due to COVID-19. We only hope that could have been, that continues to, that trend doesn't continue to grow, I should say. But I also really wanted to say that it's sad that we're at that stage, because somehow I just feel that if we had a different leadership at the top, that this probably could have been avoided. But let's just hope that moving forward, we can find better solutions. People need to continue to wear their face mask, wash your hands constantly, practice social, physical distance to ensure that we maintain these numbers down. The other thing that before I tell you a little bit about the campaign, that I wanted to tell you was about this tragic situation that we have right now. As you know, there have been all kinds of demonstrations throughout the nation. And here in DC, we had another shooting of a young black man in the hands of the police officer, or a police officer. And Deon Kay was 18 only, and he died. And it's a good thing that the footage from the camera have been released. But I think what the public is asking is not only that footage gets released, but that also the other officers that were at the scene, if they too hopefully had cameras in them, that footage also be released. And that's what we're hoping for. But just a tragic situation. They're 18. I can only imagine the grief that the parents of that child are going through. And so we have got to change that. And that's why we keep on asking for reform, not only in Washington, D.C., but throughout the nation, so that we can stop this continuous killing of young African Americans. But the other thing that I wanted to turn into now, it's the election. This is really why I, let me see if there was something here that I wanted to show you before I go into that. Yeah, I think that was so. Yeah, so yeah, let me go ahead and turn to the election and show you. We have at least 20-some people running. Here's the people that are running for the at-large race. There are a lot of people running. You can see there. So I'm one of 20+ people running, and that's good. You know, it's competition is good. So I'm excited about that. And the campaign is going at full speed now. I'm releasing a few videos that I'm producing here with a few other folks. We've got some literature that we're going to put out. We're just very excited. You've seen some of the signs throughout the city. Let me just see who all is online to see if I can interact with some of you here. I don't see any comments, but we're just excited about the campaign. We are going to show. We're going to be at a few forums. If you go to my website, which is franklinfordc.com, here it is. There is a section of the called events. So here's the website. It's franklinfordc.com, and then if you go to events, you can see what all is happening and what we're doing. And we're keeping this calendar updated. So you can see I'm going to be attending a number of debates and forums. So if anybody who is watching wants to see all the candidates in action, this would be a good time. I think, let me see, the next one that's taking place, I believe, is this Thursday. This is the Chevy Chase Citizens Association. Yeah, they're hosting a forum at 8 p.m. this Thursday. And so please visit franklinfordc.com and keep up with the, with all that's going on in our campaign. I also want you to, if you can, request a sign. This that you see here is a copy of or an image of what the signs are that should be throughout the city. We had people go out and pretty much decorate the city throughout with my campaign posters. And I think they're doing some more next week. So that is going to be exciting. But we're just excited about the possibility that we can have the city council truly reflect the citizenry or the residents of our city. And that's what representation is about. You know, I advocate for the admission of our city as the 51st state, because I always, from a young person, I've always felt that there was a need for us to be equal and that we should have a seat at the table in Congress. And so we elect what we call shadow members of Congress, because the United States Congress won't allow us to have full voting members of Congress, and that's wrong. And I've always advocated for the inclusion of our city as the 51st state. And that's somewhat equal to what I'm advocating for at the city council. We have a city council here in Washington, D.C. that's made up of 13 council members. And those, since 1973, when they first started electing members of the city council, we've never had a member of the Hispanic community on that body. And I think it's about time that we change that, because the city, needs to truly, the leadership of the city, or the legislative body of the city, should truly reflect the residents of the city, the people that it represents. And that's where we are. Not to say that by virtue of being a member of the Hispanic community that you should be elected to a seat on the DC Council, but it certainly is a motivator for the at least 5 Latinos who are currently running. There are actually 6 Latinos running on the DC Council. There's a gentleman running from Ward 2, and at least five are running for the at-large seat that's vacant. So we're excited about that. We hope that more people come and join my campaign. We're excited about what's going on. We have many opportunities to volunteer. We're doing phone banking. We are getting out there. We're obviously not doing canvassing, but we do have slots that we are creating in the coming weeks just to go around the neighborhoods and drop literature. That we can do, and we don't need to. We're not exposing anybody. We're not knocking on people's door. All we're going to do is simply visit some neighborhoods and drop off literature. So you can actually come and join that effort. There's a lot of things that you can do. If you want to have one of these nice signs, I've got, let me see, I think I've got some of the small versions of them here. They're actually, this is the older version. But this one here, if you want one of these, be sure to go to franklinfordc.com and request one. And we are going to have one delivered to you. They're very nice looking, they're very nice, and it's a good way to support the campaign. So I hope some of you request more signs. We've had a few people that requested some, but we've got plenty of signs to go around. We're doing the phone banking, we're doing the debates, we're doing the literature drop-off, we're doing the signs placements on people's yards. And so we're excited about the campaign. Remember, the election is June 3rd. As of today, we are all going to be receiving a ballot in our homes to minimize your exposure to COVID-19. So be sure when you get your ballot to drop it in the mail as soon as you get it, or as soon as you can, as soon as you've decided who you're voting for, and try to minimize your exposure to COVID-19 by visiting one of those physical precincts that are going to be open. I know that we are going to have precincts open. I think that Mayor has decided to have, or the Board of Election, have more precincts open or voting places open than we did during the primary. But we still encourage people to, just put your ballot in the mail and vote that way. The other thing, so November 3rd is when the election is going to take place. And that's pretty much all that I wanted to talk about, basically just the election that we're having here. I'm going to do another Facebook Live with more time and talk a little bit about the national scene. There's so much to talk about in terms of the national election, and I hope that some of you are engaged, and we help to ensure that we restore, I don't know how to say it without shaming all of us when we talk about who sits in the Oval Office right now, but we just need to make sure that we bring back stability to the position of the presidency of the United States, something that is truly lacking right now. I had an interview from somebody overseas earlier today, and we were talking about how the moral standing of our country right now is in shambles. And so we need to ensure that that gets restored, because that can only last but so long. So anyways, thank you so much for watching, and I look forward to engaging you at our next Facebook Live or YouTube Live or Twitter Live, whichever platform you're using. Have a good evening, everybody.